So right here's the pond that we're going to be tenting today. And there are actual multiple reasons why you should tent your pond for the fall season. One of them being, obviously, the leaves start falling down, and we don't want all these leaves falling into the pond over winter, decaying, and then just creating a whole big mess for the spring to come. Another reason why you want to put a net over your pond is because at this time of year in the capital region, we do get a lot of blue herons, and they are starting to migrate. So we want to make sure that all the fish in the ponds are protected. And as you can see over here, we do have some fish friends down there. So we want to make sure that they are safe throughout the fall season. Let's get to work. So Blake and I took out everything that we're going to need to tent this pond. I just wanted to get down nice and low and make sure that we know everything that's in front of us. First things first, we've got our 1-inch PVC, and that's what we're going to be using as the bones to this tent. Next, we've got our rebar, which is actually what's going to be holding this PVC into the ground. Now, after we get that PVC in, pretty easy. We're going to take our net that's sitting right here, stretch it out, then we're going to run it right over the top of the PVC. Pretty simple, right? After that, what we're going to do is we're going to take these pins. You guys can see these when we're using weed mat, when we're putting in barley straw. We also use them for tenting ponds. So we need a couple of those to make sure that that tent is pinned down to the ground. Now, these things kind of hurt, so I brought myself a little mallet so I can knock them in nice and easy. Now, once we have the net, the PVC installed, we're gonna zip tie it. So we have some nice colorful zip ties here, so you can't miss them during closing when you have to take the net down. So we have our zip ties here that we're going to zip tie our net onto our PVC. All right, so first things first, we're gonna get this PVC untaped because we tape them up. We're gonna take them apart, and what we actually do is label each one so that we know in the future where we're supposed to put each PVC piece.
So right now I'm cutting a couple pieces of PVC. We're just using these as markers for the off season so that it's easier to find the perfect spot when we re-tent it in the new season. And this is just gonna go over the rebar. So as this rebar gets hammered in, what we're gonna do once it's in place, we're gonna slide this over. We're gonna use a longer piece, and we're gonna hammer that PVC into the ground so that when we take the rebar out during closing, the PVC stays so that we know where it is in the next season.
All right, we got our PVC and our rebar in, and we've got our tent pretty much stretched out. We unrolled it. We got off as many leaves as we could. Now we're gonna put it on, right?
Yeah, before we do that, let's take a second to mention some tips and tricks here. Some things to note when you're putting in the structure of your system, the PVC poles, is you really wanna make sure, one, that you have a system that works for you. So when you label it, and you always put it back in the right way. So for example, as you can see here, I don't know if you can read it or not, but we labeled this skimmer. So a system that works for us is, well, we try to on every client, making sure the one that's labeled skimmer is always starting to the left of the skimmer. And then we move clockwise going around. This helps us get it in the right position every time. And then we put those PVC pipes as markers that we mentioned before. Another really important thing that you need to note is that you don't go through the liner. So as you can see here, we're far enough away from the liner all the way around so that we're not puncturing any holes in it. And then one final note is that you want to be wary of where your pipes come in, the biofalls and out of the skimmer, so that you're not puncturing those pipes either. So always make sure that you're far enough away from those. One more tip is that your rebar, I would recommend at least 18 inches, no less than 12, but 12 seems to be a little short. on some of these softer mounds, you know, where we mound it up around. I would try 18 inches to 24 inches, seems to have the best result for strength. And then you want to make sure that, as you can see here, your structure, your skeleton is straight all the way across. There's no curves or bends in the PVC. That's just going to make it so that it's stronger when you put the net over it, and it's going to last those couple months. So Andrew, at the end, is going to tell you why we actually tent these ponds. It's pretty simple, but he's just got a couple notes to mention. But stay tuned for us to throw it on the net.
All right, so we've got our netting spread out. We got all the leaves off it from last season because we just want it to be nice and clean and look good for the client. So what we're going to do is we are going to start on this side of the pond where it's actually laying. We'll pin down from here, so straight down this way, and then we'll just take that extra bit and lift it up over the pond. So certain spots of your net aren't going to be as easy to pin down. So what we're doing is we kind of roll it up a touch, and then we fold it into each other if we need to, if there's extra excess, and then we pin her down.
Also, that rolled edge helps to give you a stronger hold on the staple in the ground. And you just kind of keep rolling and pulling as you go, so long as you have the excess.
Stretched out nice and tight. Nothing is getting into this pond. All right, guys, that does it for another Tech Tip Tuesday. This is the kind of thing you guys like. Just like, subscribe, give a thumbs up. If you want to see anything, throw it in the comments. And as always, enjoy your families.
Oh, don't forget to ring the bell.
Oh yeah, ding ding.